Hey everybody, it's Carol Billing, and I am so pleased to have Tessa here today to tell us many things about advising at CWI and the One Stop. And is that right, Tessa? Is that what you're covering today?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, with that, I will let you take over.
Thank you, Carol. Thanks, everyone, for allowing me to present in your class today. So I'm sure most of you have been able to attend at least One Stop, whether you called into our eCampus or sent an email to the One Stop inbox, came to visit us at the Micron Center or at the Ada County campus. We are always here for you, even in the summer, even over Christmas break. We are here. So if you ever find yourself having questions or doubts about any of the classes or programs you're in, please come chat with us. Specifically with advisors, we really like to sit down with students, discuss your program evaluation. I'll cover a little bit of that in a few minutes here. But we are basically twiddling our thumbs this time of the year waiting for students to come in. So right before the start of the semester and right at the end of the semester are the busy times for us at the One Stop. So I'm sure a lot of us have experienced long wait times. But kind of when we get into the meat and the potatoes of the semester, weeks 4 through probably 8 or 9, there's a lot of available time for you to sit down and meet with an advisor. So I would definitely recommend that you meet with us. If you're not able to come to campus, sometimes we can do phone appointments. Occasionally we'll have Saturday events. So for those of us that work 8 to 5 and you're not able to come into the One Stop location, so we really try to make ourselves available for you. We're also all great with email as well from advising. So what I put together for our quid classes is kind of a game, and it's called Who Wants to See an Advisor? And so all my contact information is there on the screen there. I would highly encourage you to send me an email. I will be honest with you, I'm not great with phone calls. If you leave me a message, I promise to call you back. If you don't leave me a message, that's fair game for me not to return your phone call. So send us an email. We love to email back and forth. That way you have documentation of that information. All right, so let's play. So question number 1 is, who has decided on a specific major? And this is probably your first semester here at CWI, and you're probably thinking, oh, I don't know, I thought I had time to decide that. And you absolutely do. But if you're thinking about maybe changing your major, you'll definitely want to come in and submit a form and meet with an advisor like myself or anyone at the Ada County campus or at the Micron Center in Nampa. But basically, when you're considering changing your major, there's some things we want to talk to you about. One of those questions is, have you identified a transfer school? Does the major you're changing into make sense to go to the specific transfer school you're looking to get into? And how does that affect your financial aid? So if you were a business major for a year and a half, but now all of a sudden you decide you want to be a biology major, all of those business classes that you took are now probably not counting towards your biology degree because they're pretty different degrees. So we want to have that conversation with you about what the future of your financial aid may look like if you choose to change your major. Not that we want to discourage you from changing your major, just that we want to present those options to you. All right. So question number 2 is for students planning on pursuing a bachelor's degree, who knows what specific transfer school they're going into? And again, in our first semester, this might be something a little scary to think about, but it's never too early to consider a transfer school. And here at CWI, we have a lot of various deadlines. We have an admissions deadline, we have a registration deadline, and I like to say the word deadline in air quotes. So deadline, which basically just means that there's some flexibility with those deadlines, but as you transfer on to a 4-year school and they have more students and more programs, those deadlines really do become hardline deadlines. And so getting used to having deadlines set in the future is something you'll definitely want to consider when you are transferring on to a 4-year school like Boise State or NNU or U of I or ISU. So just make sure that you're talking about the transfer process early rather than waiting till the last minute, which you can get away with here at CWI sometimes, but often when you're transferring on, you want to think of those things way in advance. Yeah. All right, so question number 3, and this is kind of a tricky one. Who knows what program or what catalog year they're under? And so most students that are taking Connecting with Ideas in their first semester, that is your actual catalog year. But maybe you're taking this course as an elective. Maybe this isn't your first semester here at CWI. So you definitely want to be aware of your catalog year. And if you're not sure, you can check your My CWI. It's in there under your My Profile information. Or you can ask us. we are happy to tell you what catalog year you're under. And the reason why it's important to know what your catalog year is because you're eligible for any catalog year that you attended here at CWI. Initially, you'll start off in the catalog year that you applied, but maybe you're one of those students where you applied when you were a senior in high school, and now you're not attending CWI until that next year. Well, technically, you're going to be under that catalog year in which you applied, but if you never attended classes here at CWI, we need to change your catalog year. And I can tell you as an advisor, there have been, and I'm sure Carol can attest to this as well, there have been some major curriculum changes in the 2015 catalog. So if you're listed under the 2013 or the 2014 catalog, but you really should be in 2015, you'll definitely want to chat about those curriculum changes. That way there's no surprises when it comes to graduation. That's really what we're trying to avoid here. All right, question number 4. When is the best time to apply for graduation? And this is actually one of my favorite ones because I love talking to students about graduation. But the best time is to apply the semester before you graduate. That way we can make sure that all of your courses are lined up for you to take your last remaining courses in your last semester here. If you decide not to apply to graduation until the actual semester you graduate, you might find yourself scrambling around trying to add last minute classes. Oh my gosh, I forgot I needed a science class, or oh, I haven't finished my math requirements. So we want to avoid that panic and that stress. That way, if you apply for graduation the semester before you actually graduate, you know exactly what to register you for in your last semester here at CWI.
Smart.
Yes, that's a good one. That's one of my favorite ones. Question number 5 is true or false? CWI limits the amount of credits you can take in a single semester. I like this question too. And most students tend to think that this is false, but it's actually true. So usually students tend to run into this in the summer semester. They think, well, I was a full-time student in the spring. I'm going to be a full-time student again in the summer semester. Well, we actually limit the amount of credits you take in a single semester because we don't want you to bite off more than you can chew, so to speak. So in the fall and the spring semesters, the credit limit is 20 credits. And most of our students don't run into this because most students take between 12 and 15 credits to be a full-time student. No one really wants to go up to 20 credits. In the summer semester, the limit is 10 credits. And the reason why is for anyone that's taken a summer semester, or maybe you're considering it, the summer semester is only 8 weeks long. So your fall and your spring semesters are 16 weeks, and your summer is just half of that. It's just 8 weeks. And so that's why we limit the amount of credits so you can take in the summer semester, just because it's really fast. And we want you to be prepared to be successful in the summer semester and not consider being a full-time student.
Love it. I actually taught summer a few years ago, and I had several students who had to be full-time, so they had to carry 12 in the summer. And they died. It was miserable. It was just miserable. So I love that you have that role, so thank you.
Yes, my pleasure. There is a way to be able to override that, and I will say this, but if we need to override the credit limit, you'll need to sit down and chat with an advisor, and we'll cover a few things. A is, why are you doing this? B is, you're crazy. Are you sure you want to do this? And C is, do you know what you're really getting into? And there's things that we take into consideration. Have you done summer semester before? How have you performed in the past? Does this make sense for you to do this to override the credit limit? So it is possible, just highly discouraged.
Okay. Yeah, it's very rare. Some students can do it, but it's rare.
Yes, it is rare. All right, question number 6, and my question number got erased here, but is another true or false question. Taking 12 credits at a time over 4 semesters, so here I'm thinking fall, and spring, will allow you to complete your degree in exactly 2 years. Because here at a community college like CWI, people often refer to their associate's degree as their 2-year degree. And I can tell you that that is false. So all of our associate's degrees here at CWI require a minimum of 60 credits to complete. So if you want to finish in a true 4-year fashion, 4-semester fashion, a 2-year fashion, you'll need to be taking at least 15 to 16 credits per semester. So there we go. So this is just a plan that we see that's very common. So students in their first semester take about 12 to 15 credits here. Moving over to their second semester, there's about 13 credits. Third semester is 12, and in the fourth semester, we've got 13 credits. And to be a full-time student for financial aid, we require a minimum of 12 credits. But if you just stick with the financial aid timeline, then you're going to be taking longer than a true 2 years. So this plan here that I've mapped out is just a total of 53 credits. And so if your degree requires at least 60, you're going to have to plan either to take a class or two in the summer to increase your course load. And you'll want to keep in mind that these 60 to 70 credits required for your degree do not include any remedial math classes like Math 095. And the reason why is because Math 095 is not a 100 level course. So anything that doesn't start with a 1 or a 2 is not considered college level. And that just means that those credits that you're earning for Math 095 count towards financial aid, so don't worry about that, but they don't count towards your overall degree requirements. So you have to have 100 or 200 level classes counting for your degree. All right, question number 7. This is one of my favorites too. When does 2016 fall registration open? I'm going to give you a minute to think about that. Do you know? Do you know where you can find that information? Other than the fact that I'm going to tell you right now.
I do, because I book extra days for student calls and advising.
There you go. Carol knows and I know. All right.
Ew, been there, not that.
Monday, April 11th is when your fall and your summer semester registration opens. So fall and summer semester registration opens on the same day. You'll definitely want to be careful when registering for classes to make sure you know exactly which ones you're registering for. And this is kind of the unique time of year where you can register for 2 semesters at once. When we get ready for spring registration, that doesn't happen. You're only able to register for spring semester. But Monday, April 11th at midnight is when your summer and fall registration will open.
So they should come and see us, you or I, me if they're education.
Yeah.
Otherwise, before spring break.
Yes, definitely highly recommended. So if you decide to give either Carol or I a call on April 11th, say, oh my gosh, registration just opened. I'd like to come to see you today. We're going to say, sorry, it's probably going to be, well, at least from advising, it would be probably 2 to 3 weeks out for a specific appointment. So you'll definitely want to think well in advance about scheduling a one-on-one appointment.
Yes, very good. Before spring break.
Before spring break.
Excellent.
All right, this also relates to registration. So question number 8 is again true or false. The schedule of upcoming classes is posted before registration actually opens. That one is true. So the schedule of classes is posted in your My CWI 2 weeks before the opening of the registration period opens. So that is going to be March, so right after spring break, I think is what that date looks like. So definitely log into your My CWI account. You can put those classes in your shopping cart, and then on April 11th, after you've talked to an advisor or Carol, you can log in on the 11th and register for all those classes because they're already in your shopping cart. And so that way you don't have to wake up at midnight and start searching for all your classes and think where you're going to be and what your work schedule will be. And online classes, as we know, tend to fill up pretty quickly just because students need that flexibility. So we would encourage you to register early for your classes. And again, select those classes, put them in your preferred section or your shopping cart 2 weeks before our registration actually opens to make your life easier.
Nice.
So if you remember, we were playing a game here, and the question was, who needs to see an advisor? Carol, help me out. Who needs to see an advisor?
Everyone.
Everyone. You do. Yeah. When I present in an actual class, I like to feel like I'm Oprah. You need an advisor, and you need an advisor. So yes, everyone needs to see an advisor. So please come chat with us. There's lots of ways to get a hold of us. You can call in. Often we have an advisor working in our eCampus to be able to take phone calls. So you can call in and chat with an advisor then and there. Schedule an appointment, come in during walk-in times. We really want to make sure that we are available for you. All right. Last question, bonus question. Who's filled out their FAFSA for next year? So currently we are in the 15-16 school year. And a lot of people don't like to think about financial aid this early in the semester, in the spring semester. But this is really important. So we want you to think ahead towards your fall semester and considering how you're going to be paying for classes. And a FAFSA is available every year as of January 1st. So hopefully everybody partied up on New Year's Eve and then went to bed and then woke up and logged in and filled out their FAFSA. That's what would happen in an ideal world. That didn't happen for me, but hopefully it happened for you. If it hasn't happened yet, that's okay. The priority date for next fall, for your FAFSA next fall, is mid-July. So we want to make sure that you're filling out your FAFSA early. If you fill it out early and you have questions, you have plenty of time to come in before the last minute rush. And if you submit your FAFSA before mid-July, we will guarantee, assuming all your documentation's in place, we'll guarantee that your aid is ready to go before the start of the semester, which is key for your peace of mind, especially if you're having trouble with registration or anything else going on. So fill out your FAFSA now. It is available. And if you fill out your FAFSA early, you could receive additional grant money. So there's the Pell Grant, and that's kind of the unlimited money that the federal government has. So even if you filled out your FAFSA today for last semester, they could retroactively award you. But there's money that's called the SEOG grant, and that money is awarded on a first-come, first-served basis. So if you fill out your FAFSA early in the year, so January 1st, and usually through, I think, about March is when that money starts to run out. But that's an additional $500 grant that you could get that would take away from loan money. So as long as you have a successful semester, you wouldn't have to worry about paying that additional money off. And then if you're thinking about scholarships, which I'm going to highly encourage you to do because it is actually what we call scholarship season, scholarships want you to fill out your FAFSA early. So that's just another incentive for you to fill it out. And I know some of you are probably thinking, oh, I have to do my taxes because it's required for my FAFSA, or mom and dad have to do their taxes, and that's absolutely true. But you can start filling out your financial aid information now and then just encourage your spouse or mom or dad, or just motivate your own self to fill out your FAFSA early, because that just means more financial aid come next year.
Awesome.
All right, so that's what I have for you today. Carol, did you have anything else for me?
No, your contact information's there. You're at Micron. Where are advisors only at Micron?
Good question. So for those that are located in Boise or closer to Boise, at the Links building, the Ada County One Stop, there are several advisors: Lindsay, Josie, Curtis, Erica, and Aaron. So there's 5 advisors that are there, and they are housed there. And then here we have Brittany, Andrew, Kyle, myself, and then Tomas is here sometimes to help you guys out. So if you need to see an advisor, definitely come to either the Ada County One Stop, which also shares the building with the assessment center, if you ever have to go in and take a test, or we're located here at the Micron Center. If you choose to go to the Canyon County One Stop in Nampa, which is on the boulevard closer to Caldwell, there aren't advisors there. There's a one stop there, but there are no advisors. So advisors will just be in those 2 locations.
Okay, very good. Now, do advisors have specific areas that they focus in? Like, if you know you want to be a biology major, is there a specific advisor who's more knowledgeable?
Good question. The short answer to that is no. Currently, with our list of advisees, we have a huge mixture of students. However, advisors do have a specific department that they are responsible for communicating information to. So I work very closely with our transportation programs, so automotive, auto body, power sports, those kinds of programs. I also work very closely with our communications department as well. Mm. Carol, I think for education, the advisor is Josie Ward. She is what we call them liaisons. And so while you are more than welcome to chat with any of the advisors about your program, if you're looking for a little bit more of an inside scoop, then you'll probably want to see who the liaison is. And if there's something I don't know about education, I will usually go to Josie and say, hey, what do you know about this? Andrew Miller is our biology healthcare liaison. So he works a lot with nursing students and kind of getting information about them. So you're more than welcome to give us a call. Nothing has been officially set in stone. At some point, and who knows when in the future, there will be specific advisors for specific departments. But that could be long after you guys are done. So, well, hopefully we're moving towards that, but currently advisors can advise on just about any program. And if we don't have a specific answer, we will either reach out to faculty as a better resource for you or the advisor liaison for the department.
Okay, great. I think that's it. So your email's down there. They can email you with a question. If you're not the right person, you will send it to the person who is.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're big on following up.